2,000 years ago, an alien videotaped his attempt to educate a caveman. The Prometheus and Bob tapes.
Hey, they can't with us.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sunday in February. We are your hosts. I'm Justice General Rafford. That's my brother, Mike the Caveman Lisman. What's going on, Mike? How you feeling tonight, bro?
I'm ready to go, man. It's getting colder. We have that storm coming up this weekend. We talked about it a little bit before the show, but it's coming quick, and I'm kind of sitting here bundling up because I'm freezing here in my room, and I'm only imagining what it's gonna freaking be like this weekend. But yeah, God bless. Hopefully everybody stays safe. It's supposed to be bad.
Hey, talk about wanting a white Christmas. You're going to get one this year. It's going to be a lot of snow. I don't know. I mean, the first one was like, it was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it was all cool. You got 6 feet of snow, but it really wasn't that bad to me. The roads were closed for a little bit, but I mean, it's just snow. It's not like thing is taking your house off the ground and whipping it, 50 yards across the field, or, opening a hole in the earth and swallowing your family. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we get it pretty easy here in Buffalo. You know what I mean? So, you talk about, not wanting to live in Buffalo. Well, hey, all right, enjoy the wind knocking your house down. All right. Anyway, we got a good show for you guys. We're going to get into a lot of things, but first, it's Sunday in February, but we're going to talk about a team that we both, I imagine, believe will be playing on that Sunday in February. The Buffalo Bills are going to be taking on the Chicago Bears this week. And Chicago Bears haven't been great, you know what I mean? Obviously, they gave the Eagles a scare last week, but then they turned into the Chicago Bears and lost. Like they, I don't know. You know what? I'm throwing a little extra sauce on it, just because I don't like the tone Justin Fields used. You know what I mean? It ain't sit right with me. But that's cool. Shout out to the Bears. Shout out to my boy Rube. Obviously, he played for the Bills and the Bears, so this is, a cool game for him. But Bears coming off a hard-fought win over the Miami Dolphins. Bears coming off of a close-ish loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, best team or the best record in the National Football League. What should we even be expecting from this game?
I think we should be expecting, apparently the weather once again. I think this will actually affect the game to a pretty high extent if it ends up being the type of weather we're expecting. So I think that'll play a lot into it, and that'll hurt the Bears just as much as it hurts us. But we'd be lying if we said that it wouldn't also almost play the benefit to what Justin Fields is great at, and that's using his legs. And he's an 1,000-yard rusher this season. He's been electric when it comes to escaping the pocket and having to improvise with his legs, whether it's designed or not. He has been the best rushing quarterback this season. And you kind of alluded to it already. There was a clip of Justin Fields being asked if he watched Josh Allen tape, and he kind of brushed it off and said no, as if Josh was some sort of scrub. It sounded like was his tone, and you can either take that way, or you could take it as Justin Fields is one of those NFL players that just doesn't watch football, which I always find bizarre. I don't know how you could not watch the sport of football when you're in the professional
I don't mean
league.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I think there was another thing, which is what I tweeted, right? I feel like, you know what I mean? Like a regular NBA player ain't going to go watch Shaquille O'Neal. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you know you not that boy, then why would you even try to think you could possibly be that boy? You know what I mean? Like, you could be that boy at your size and weight. He's an amazing runner, spectacular runner. He can do what he do very well, but you can't do everything that Josh can do. So you wouldn't really even be, on that type of time. You'd be like, I can't watch that. That serves me in no way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Justin Fields and Josh Allen are much different in terms of their running style. I think Obviously Josh is much more of a physical kind of guy when it comes to, whether he's running between the tackles or stiff arming somebody, trying to get to the outside. Justin Fields is more, if there's a hole, he's gone. Like, this guy's a blur. And it kind of reminds me to Lamar's MVP season when we saw him kind of shock the world with his rushing ability. And I don't think he was as fast as Justin Fields is right now, or at least how he seems. But Lamar was very elusive. It just seems like Justin Fields is, like I said, a blur. But just on the point of Fields, it's going to be a stepping stone for him next year when the NFL gets the blueprint and they're like, all right, we know what he's all about. It's time for him to figure it out with his arm. And it's kind of been the same thing with Lamar. After his MVP season, the rushing ability has always been there, but it's been much more of it's been much more contained. And that's what I think that's going to be the same exact thing that happens with Justin, as his NFL career progresses. But that's aside the point. To this coming weekend, we're going to have to watch out for Justin and watch out for Justin only. There's virtually no other threat on this offense. David Montgomery, I think Khalil Herbert will actually be back as well. So a 1-2 punch in the backfield that we'll have to be ready for. But we have a run defense that's a lot better than represented than what the stereotype may say. So I think this is a game we should win handily, regardless of the weather.
Okay, so you talk about the weather, but you say regardless of the weather. Now, for the type of temperature that is going to be called for, it would serve the team that is better at running the football. You say that Justin Fields is, faster than even Lamar in his MVP season. So do you think that could be an advantage to Justin Fields and maybe they could sneak one out?
I don't think they'll sneak one out. I think it's maybe an advantage to an extent if we didn't have Josh Allen. I think Josh could throw, in any type of environment if he really had to. If there's a guy other than Mahomes that you want to ask to make a throw or two, 15, 20 yards up the field in inclement weather, it's Josh Allen. So I don't think it's as big of a disadvantage as it could be. And the Bears just defensively have not been good at all. And seeing how we ran the ball in that final drive last week against the Dolphins, and we're going on to a final drive. We're in a tie game. It was pretty much a perfect drive from start to finish. Devin Singletary. We took like one RPO shot over the middle to Diggs, which went incomplete, but then it was just Singletary. We grinded the clock out. We ran the ball in a situation that we usually wouldn't have been able to run the ball in. And we won the game with zeros on the clock. I think it was one of the the most well executed drives we've seen from this team all year. And if we can see that type of run game this week, in combination with Josh and being able to play a very complimentary type of offense, there's just no way that I think the Bears have a chance in this football game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's you notice it in Josh. I think the fact that he was able to play in that Patriots game last year, and the craziest wins you ever seen. So wins so crazy that a coach literally decided, hey, my NFL quarterback, he's one of the best 32 people in the entire planet that can play this position right now. He's only going to throw the ball twice. And Josh was just launching it. And, the wind took it from time to time, but even sometimes he came a little, like, it was so close. It's like, how does this guy do this? You know what I mean? So, they do call Chicago the Windy City, but I don't know if the wind in Soldier Field works the same way it does at the Ralph, because the wind at the Ralph is disgusting. It's swirly and it's wild. So, and not only that, but Josh Allen can run. You talk about different running styles, but Josh Allen also has his running style. It's probably, I would say it's more effective than Justin Fields in the sense that he uses it more when he needs it to win games. You know what I mean? Like Justin Fields, he is a snowball's chance in hell fighting for his team to win games most weeks. Josh Allen can win his team games by his lonesome, so I think it's a little bit different. And I think, the effectiveness and the efficiency of his run game, I think it bodes well for that. So the Bills were able to get past the Dolphins this past week. and they were able to get past, or well, we're hoping they'll be able to get past the Bears this week. I hope to God they will beat the Bears this week, not only for our home seat advantage, but got a little surprise for y'all if they do beat the Bears. So we'll see about that. So I hope they beat the Bears this week. They should beat the Bears this week. The number one seed, or just the playoff picture in general, when you look at it, the Bills are at the top, and they should and could stay at the top should they win out, which is they're very capable of, obviously, right? The team that's nipping at their heels is the Kansas City Chiefs, right? This team has the same record as the Buffalo Bills. The only setback to their claim is they lost to the Buffalo Bills already. So no matter what happens this season, if they have the same, win-loss as the Bills do, then the Bills are going to get that first seed. And looking at the second seed, they have left Seattle, Oakland, and Denver. Seattle, as you can attest to, is a scrappy team. They can win football games they're not supposed to win, right? Oakland damn near beat them the first time, if not for Devontae Adams juggling the football a little bit, and then Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow running into each other on the last play. And Derek Carr on 4th and 1 launching the ball to the 2-yard line for whatever reason, instead of just getting the first down. So that's the reason they lost to Oakland. And they would have lost to the Broncos if Russell Wilson doesn't get a concussion in that game as they're about to score. So they have 3 teams left that are very capable of beating the Chiefs. What say you happens for this number one seed?
I mean, we control our own destiny, right? We have, a couple games left on our schedule that we can't, just expect us to glide right through. But if we continue to play at the level we're playing, we take the number one seed. If we improve and we start to get closer and closer to the ceiling that I believe we have, then there's nobody stopping us, period. We've not been playing our best football. It's, progressively gotten better, but the fact that we have the number one seed after an extended period of games here where we feel like we haven't been looking great, I think that's something to really hang your hat on. So I fully expect us to come away with it. Like you were saying, the Kansas City Chiefs have been, they've been getting right out of games by the skin of their teeth. I mean, they get away from the Texans in overtime. The week before that, they, barely beat the Broncos after having a 27-point lead. They have to sweat that one out. So the Chiefs right now are not looking like a very balanced football team. It's pretty much Mahomes or bust. And, we've seen a lot of that with Buffalo this season, last season, just in general, where it's Josh or bust. The Chiefs are going through that right now as well, big time. And, one of these weeks, Mahomes is going to have a bad game. It's almost inevitable. He hasn't yet. He threw 3 interceptions against the Broncos, 3 pretty poor picks, but he still was putting up, just highlight reel play after highlight reel play. I've never seen a game by a quarterback who threw 3 bad interceptions as good as that one. And, they still were able to pull it out. So, he's eventually going to have a game where he throws 3 picks and he can't pass the ball down the field at all. When that happens, I guess we'll see, but that defense hasn't been playing well to really make up for it. So I think the Chiefs are in a very, very odd spot. It's pretty much Mahomes or nothing. The team I'd be more worried about are the Bengals. I think they're the team that really are breathing down our neck more so for that top seed. And, as we both know, we see them week 17. So that I think is where the real concern comes in, if there is any. And the Chiefs, not as much, especially because we have the game on them.
What concerns you about the Bengals?
I mean, their weapons, right? I mean, we saw Trey White line up against Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, press coverage, getting handsy at the line of scrimmage, a few games off of, finally being healthy from that ACL injury. And he played excellent. I thought Trey White was the player of the game on the defense against Miami. And the amount of plays he made, the impact that he was having on a play-to-play basis was something we haven't felt all year. And without Trey, I think this game against Miami goes a lot different. And even Kyrie Elam had a few plays, and he was impactful with his length and finally seeing the field on a consistent basis. And him and Trey were really, a tag team out there on the boundary, sticking with those 2 fast receivers. So The Bengals, of course, have their weapons, but I think our secondary is getting back to where we're used to it being. Having Trey there, having Kyrie Elam maybe getting a boost of confidence that we haven't seen him play with it, over the past few weeks, considering he hasn't been out there. So otherwise, it's just a football team that has a good quarterback, solid weapons, and defense that I really don't think is too spectacular, but nonetheless, probably the second best team in the AFC right now. So they're probably our biggest threat, and it's a team we have to take down if we want to secure that top seed.
Second best team in the AFC. Whoa, you like the Bengals? All right. Speaking of liking the Bengals, you mentioned Burrow. Now you like Joe Burrow more than I do. I don't dislike Joe Burrow. I kind of feel like he is the AFC's Kirk Cousins, right? In a sense that I don't think he's bad, but I think that there's a superstar making him look way better than he actually is, right? And I think that's true for both Kirk Cousins and Joe Burrow. I don't think he's bad. I think he's serviceable. I think he is a fringe top 10 quarterback, if I'm being completely honest. With that being said, a lot of people have him way higher than that. I mean, like way higher than that. And I got this list from NFL.com, and it is of the top quarterbacks in the league, and these are some pretty interesting answers. So I'm going to give you a quarterback. I want you to first guess where he is on the list, or where he is on your list, and tell me about him, and then I'll tell you guys where he is on the NFL.com top quarterbacks. All right, let's go. Let's start off with a Tom Brady.
And this is the top 10, right?
This is the top quarterbacks.
Okay. I'm going to say on my list, Brady's probably falling between 5 and 7, somewhere in that range. But
by the way, I want you to know, because I feel like I didn't put that in enough context. This is the top 32.
Okay. I would probably say Brady on my list falls between 5 and 7, and I think he probably would on that list as well. So I'm going to say Brady's at 7 on the NFL's list, or on this list specifically.
He's at 13.
13, okay.
So Brady, I mean, the Bucs haven't had a great season, obviously. They think clearly they think that a lot of it is on Brady, because Brady would typically be like 2 or 3 on this list.
Yeah.
So they're judging him pretty harshly. What about Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I mean, I think Rodgers has been slightly better than Brady. So, I mean, if I'm trying to predict the list here, I would probably put Rodgers on their list around 9 or 10.
And where is he on yours?
I think I'd probably have Brady 7th, so probably Rodgers 6th.
Okay, fair enough.
Like that.
He is right above Rodgers, just like you. Literally right above Rodgers at 12.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, next up, we're going to go with Joseph Burrow.
That list probably has Burrow 3rd, honestly, and maybe 4th. I think that list probably has Burrow 4th. I would probably have Burrow 5 or 6 right now.
Fair enough. You are absolutely correct. They have him at 4.
4. Probably have.
Can you name the 3 quarterbacks that's better than him?
So I'm going to say Mahomes is at 1, Josh is at 2. Now 3, who do they have? That's the big question. I think they probably have. Do they have Hurts at 3?
They got Hurts at 2.
They have Hurts at 2? So they have
Josh
Mahomes, Hurts, Josh?
Yep.
Wow. I don't know about that. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, Hurts is having a great year. It's nothing to take away from the guy. He's a top 5 2-dimensional guy. But we got to evaluate the situation for what it is. We'll see this weekend how much they contend with against the Cowboys with Gardner Minshew under center. And I wouldn't be shocked if this is a one score game all the way down to the wire, whether they win or lose, which I still think is a possibility they win. And I think that'll speak enough to the sentiment of how good the rest of this roster truly is. They win every game in the trenches on defense and on offense. They have a secondary that's been playing far above expectations. On top of the fact that Dallas Goedert will be back this week, they have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, one of the best wide receiver duos. And Jalen Hurts elevates that offense in his own right because of what he offers, but you can't take away what he's got surrounding him. So, to say he's at 2, that's a little bit wild to me.
What say you if the Eagles go out there and just shit the bed like ass? They're terrible. And they're like, we're missing our quarterback.
I mean, wow. Are you what kind of shit the bed are we talking about?
I mean, the Cowboys go out there, let's say 34-17.
34-17. I think in a 34-17 kind of, I guess it would all depend the way it would go. If in a 34-17 game, I assume the offense just gets slowly outscored and the defense just can only do so much. So obviously Jalen Hurts would probably play a factor. But if we're talking about a game that, let's say hypothetically, it's a shootout, maybe it's 29-25 or something ridiculous like that. The offense is still scoring. For some reason, maybe the Eagles defense had an off day.
Right.
It doesn't, what side of the ball does Jalen play on? It's, kind of.
It shows the offense still has some effectiveness even without the MVP quarterback.
Right.
I see where you're going with this. All right. Justin Fields. Quarterback.
I think this list will probably have Justin Fields way higher than he should be. I think Justin Fields on my list would probably be in the 11 to 14 range. This list probably has him at 7 or 8.
Actually, that's pretty good. He's at 10 on this list.
Okay.
So, right there where you're around where yours was. All right, Brock Purdy.
I like Brock Purdy. Cool story, but the Brock Purdy hype is getting way out of pocket. I gotta throw that out there. But on my list, if even he's getting ranked by default at this point, but he's probably 22nd on my list. This list probably has him around 20th.
16.
This is what I'm talking about.
16, ladies and gentlemen.
You're telling me there are what it was 32 minus 16, another 16 quarterbacks that you would not take Brock Purdy over. That's a little ridiculous. Let's touch on that after. Who's behind Brock Purdy? We can touch on that in a little bit because that's interesting.
Okay.
But I want to keep going.
All right. Mac Jones.
He's probably one of the guys I have below Brock Purdy at this point. But Mac Jones, I would probably put at probably around 17 maybe is where I'd have Mac. They probably have Mac at 22nd.
Damn, you are good. They're at 24. It's 24.
24? Yeah. My God, come on. That's so ridiculous. This is bad. Go ahead.
All right. Trevor Lawrence.
Now, he's been balling, man. He has been balling. I would put Trevor right now, personally, at about 8 on my own list. That's probably where they have Trevor, maybe higher. They might have Trevor at – they have Fields at 10, though. They probably have Trevor at, 6.
Damn. Right in the middle. 7.
7? Okay.
Good guessing, though. Tua Tagovailoa.
No, this would be good. Tua. Probably would be Tua would be a fringe top 10 guy for me, I think, right now. Maybe 9 if you caught me on a good day, but I'd probably have Tua in the 11 to 14 range. They probably have Tua at 5.
Yo, you are calling. All right, he's at 6.
6. Oh, of course they do. Oh, Jesus. I hate these lists, man.
Justin Herbert.
This is interesting because Justin Herbert's very polarizing in the sense that you either think he sucks or you either think he's like all world. So there's like no middle ground with him. It feels like lately. So it just depends on who made him.
I'm not in the middle. I think he's really good, but I don't like the coronation. So I throw a little hate on him. That's all. You know what I mean? Like, you're not the best quarterback in the world, bro. Make the playoffs. Like, you know what I mean? Let's relax. All right.
Right. And then if the person who made this list has the same perspective as you, that would probably put him. So we had those 3. 4 was Burrow. 5, I think 4 was Burrow. Right? Did we even say Burrow? I would say Herbert's probably 6th on their list.
2 was 6.
Oh, shit. 5th? Did we say a 5th then?
We didn't say a 5th.
Okay, so 5th.
Where is he on your list?
On my list, he's probably – oh boy, it's hard. Right now, he's probably my 4 or 5, I would say. Right now.
They have a 5.
5. Okay.
All right, we got a couple more. You had Brock Purdy at 20. Oh, no, you had him at 22 or something.
Yeah, I had Brock Purdy like 22 or something.
Right. All right, we got 2 more, and these are a little more difficult. Geno Smith.
Now, another guy that I think I would put fringe top 10, maybe 9. I think they probably have Geno. I think we had Trevor at 7. 6. They probably have Geno at 9. I'm trying to do the process elimination. It was a lot.
9 on the dot. Oh, you can't do that. You gotta guess.
I know. I'm trying to think back though to try to be as accurate as possible. I'm cheating a little bit.
All right, yeah. Geno at 9. And I think you said 9 for yours too. All right.
Yeah.
Last one. This could be any number in the world, by the way, except the numbers we called out already, obviously. Dakshua Prescott. I don't know.
Polarizing. Talking about polarizing, this guy has had. This guy's been headlining lately. I would put Dak at. Man. Well, there's no way. I guess there is a way. Wow. I think I would put Dak, another guy that I probably would fit in the 10 to 15 range. I'm going to put Dak for them at 11. Did we have an 11?
I didn't say an 11.
I would say Dak's their 11.
Okay.
Was I off?
Dak is actually at 8.
8, okay. I wasn't sure if we had an 8 or not. Yeah,
I didn't say 11. So, all right.
Okay. I think I don't disagree with that entirely.
Okay. All right. Let's.
Together.
You said you have to what? Put a whole list.
I would have to put the whole list together overall to see it all out again. But yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about a couple of the quarterbacks that were behind Brock Purdy.
Yeah, this should be fun.
Yeah. All right. If the NFL.com would let me click on the link. Okay. All right. Below Brock Purdy, we got at 16.
That's absurd. That's absurd. Let me try and guess who they have below Brock Purdy. So we know Mac Jones is probably behind him.
Yep, we did Mac. Yep, we did Mac Jones.
Zach Wilson, 100% behind him.
For sure.
Well, no. Well, I guess is it a list that's only ranking like this second, like the starters right this second, or is it like okay? They probably have Ryan Tannehill behind him. If they do they have Ryan Tannehill behind him?
Is Ryan Tannehill? Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay, so that means Kirk Cousins can't be behind him either. Who the hell do they have behind Brock Purdy then? If there's
Kirk Cousins is your 11.
He's 11 on the list.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh man, who do they have behind him? Like I just can't put
immediately behind him is Derek Carr.
That's so hurtful. That is so painful. You know the tirade I went on this offseason, and that hurts my heart. The disrespect, the level of disrespect, because this should be a backdoor playoff team with one guy to throw to, and a defense is playing piss poor, and yeah, he throws some pretty dumb interceptions. All right, he's looked questionable at times, but to say that he's worse than Brock Purdy, that is the most disrespectful. To say anybody at this point is behind Brock Purdy, other than Zach Wilson, is the most disrespectful. Do they have Jared Goff behind Brock Purdy? I will be mad if they have Jared Goff behind Brock Purdy.
I was actually looking for that specifically because I agree. He does not belong behind Brock Purdy. He's not. He's at 14.
Thank God.
He's been balling this year. Or, I mean,
he's
balling adjacent. As good as Jared Goff as you're going to expect from Jared Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff in the last 7 games is like 11 touchdowns for 1 pick and like 2,700 yards. He's been
Shout out to Goff,
slinging.
Man. Absolutely.
So, oh man, that really hurts that Derek's back there. I did not. His name didn't even come up in my mind. That sucks. What a stupid list. Who else? A
couple more.
Notable.
Daniel Jones, immediately behind Derek Carr at 18. Let's see.
Sure.
Deshaun Watson at 21.
I mean, yeah, I hate the guy, but come on. Anyway, keep going.
Davis Mills 25. Baker Mayfield at 26. Sam Darnold at 27. All in a row.
I guess, like, if you want, like, what's stopping me from believing that you put any of these guys in the best offensive roster with Kyle Shanahan at head coach that any of them wouldn't excel to? I mean, come on. What a list. What a list. I might have to talk about this into extension later on. This is interesting to me.
Tyler Huntley at 28. And to end the list, we got Trace McSorley. Let me ask you this question before we move on to MVP talk. Where does Mike White go on this list?
Mike White? I actually was thinking about this the other day. Speaking of Brock Purdy, if Mike White was under center with the 49ers, that would be terrifying. That would be terrifying. We're talking about how well Brock Purdy looks. We put Mike White. I think Mike White's a gunslinger. Like, we're talking about a guy that has stepped in against soft defenses, to be fair, but time and time again, he steps in and he slings it with the utmost of confidence. And he's tough. We saw that against us. He's tough. And he'll stand in there and take whatever hit is necessary to deliver. So I like Mike White. I know some people might not be sold on him, but if you're sold on Brock Purdy, you better bet your sorry ass you're sold on Mike White. So I would put Mike White right now probably where they have Brock Purdy. Probably a little bit further back if we're replacing Zach Wilson with Mike White, that is. I don't know. I mean, he's got Garrett Wilson. He had Corey Davis, pretty established veteran. Then he's got Elijah Moore. But, his offensive line wasn't doing him favors when he was back there. And, Garrett Wilson had career weeks, when he was the pass catcher for him. So I think Mike White deserves a lot of credit. And it would be shocking to me if when he's healthy, they went back to Zach, despite they can come out 2-0 after this stretch. If they go back, if they continue with Zach, then they're really shooting their playoff hopes in the foot.
They're shooting their franchise hopes in the foot. I have to agree, man. Well, as a Bills fan, when I was watching that game, our defense was punishing that boy.
Oh.
And every time he came back out, I ain't gonna lie, my heart dropped a little. I was like, oh, damn it. I was like, stay on the sideline. He balled out, bro. He earned my respect in that game. It made me a little afraid of him, I'm not gonna lie. Way more afraid to Zach Wilson. I would pay you to start Zach Wilson over Mike White at this point from the Jets. So yeah. All right. MVP race. Now, what we have here is we have Caveman's MVP. But what I'm about to do is I'm about to go to Vegas odds of MVP. Right. So MVP. We have Caveman's top 5 here. You only gave me 4, but you also said a fringe guy. Do you remember who the fringe guy was?
Yeah, so I think my order was Mahomes 1.
No. We're going
Oh,
backwards.
my bad. All right.
5.
My 5 would probably be oh boy, hold on. I gotta think. Who was it? Josh,
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen, Justin. But that was only 4 then. Was there a 5th? Did I ever say a 5th?
You said.
All right, for the sake of a 5th, let's say.
It was Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. You're right. I forgot. I was forgetting one. You're right. Jalen Hurts was my 5. Yes, you're right. I forgot.
All right, so
one guy in there.
For Vegas, at 6 they had Justin Jefferson, and at 5 they had Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I mean, the way the NFL MVP is given out is entirely different based on how I would personally award the trophy. So my rankings are going to be probably opposite to what they got, almost opposite at least.
All right.
I don't think Tua's in that top 5. Period.
For number 4, Vegas has Joseph Burrow. Who do you have at number 4?
At number 4, that's where I think I'd put Justin Jefferson. The Vikings are pretty much irrelevant without Justin Jefferson. He's won them football games single-handedly, helped spark that comeback against the Colts. I think his statistics, his play on a week-to-week basis speaks to that. So I'd put Justin Jefferson at 4.
At number 3, Vegas has Joshua Patrick Allen.
Yeah, that's not shocking. Josh went through a little bit of a tough patch, through weeks, 7 through whatever. So it's not shocking. So I would give my number 3 to Joe Burrow. I think that's where I would put my number 3.
That's interesting.
I know you're not a big Joe Burrow guy.
No. No, I'm talking about Vegas. That's interesting.
Okay.
All right, number 2, Vegas has Jalen Hurts.
Yep, I'm not shocked. Jalen Hurts probably, if he didn't get hurt, probably would be the front runner here. But my number 2 is Josh, for obvious reasons. If you watch the Bills, you would know.
And then finally, of course, both of you have Mahomes. So, what is it about Mahomes? And I was having this conversation with Mookie Monday night. What is it about Mahomes that you feel he deserves the MVP over anybody else in the entire league?
I think it's Mahomes' ability to just never blink. He
oh, that hurt.
What?
That hurt.
What?
I don't know. It hit me right in the heart a little bit.
Why?
That's Von Miller's thing.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I think that's just how I feel, man. It's we kind of talked about it a little bit before. He just doesn't. He screws up, but he doesn't ever just flat out suck. It's really an anomaly how good he comes out and plays every week. His consistency level is so remarkable, and it's not like consistency can be taken in different contexts, but we're talking about best quarterback in the league every week consistency, and it's hard to match. Josh, for the first 5 weeks, I thought was playing like the best quarterback in the NFL, and even Josh, for reasons that were in his control and out of his control, started to falter. That's the reality of things. And he eventually, started to slip away in terms of the MVP conversation or the best quarterback conversation. But the entirety of the way, it's just Mahomes. And this year, without Tyreek Hill, he's adapted. He's looked just as good. He's not going to hit. I don't think he hits 50 touchdowns, but he's going to get damn close to it. And the way that his defense has been playing is only kind of proving this even more in the sense that it's been bad and he's had to score. So he's been put in situations of high pressure, and he's performed each and every time. And so I know that the don't blink thing is a Buffalo terminology, but I think it fits here. Mahomes just doesn't falter. It's a thing of beauty.
That's fair. Josh, I feel like Josh has higher highs, but it's like Mahomes really doesn't really have lows. It's like it's just even when he plays bad, it's still like better than 89% of the rest of the league would ever play. You know what I mean? Like his worst day is somebody's best day ever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm not mad at that. He certainly is that, if nothing else, is consistently good. Um, he's sneakily very athletic. He doesn't run very much, but the way he scampers around to create time is absolutely frustrating. It is the most annoying thing I've ever seen in my life. Imagine if Brady was back there doing that, dog. I would throw my TV through somebody's window. Like, I can't do that.
Would you say that Mahomes is? I think Mahomes is probably the toughest quarterback to sack in the league. Do you think that's crazy?
I think it's Josh, but I
Josh?
think Mahomes would be number 2. I'll tell you why. Because Josh can not only deke you out, he can run past you, he can run through you or jump over you. You know what I mean? I feel like if Patrick Mahomes gets caught, it's over. And he's not avoiding the sack. But you gotta, you know what I mean? He's definitely roadrunner, and these defensive ends are out here looking like Wile E. Coyote. They're chasing him around trying to get to him. But if you do get to him, then you got to him. Like he's not even gonna put up a fight. You know what I mean? But Josh is gonna throw your face in the ground. You know what I'm saying? So I would say it's Josh personally. And I think he has the highest break sack percentage in like NFL history, or something stupid like that. He's like crazy. Yeah. The rate that he breaks tackles is absolutely phenomenal. Speaking of Josh, this week versus Miami, or not versus Miami, versus who they play, the Jets? No, it was Miami. Yeah, this week versus Miami. You look like you figured it out. Of course, we talked about the lull he's been on. He was injured. He shaved his beard. A whole bunch of reasons people came up with as to why Josh wasn't playing well. Playing well versus Miami. 30 or 45, like 280 through the air, 4 tutties, 0 picks. He has 77 yards on the ground from 10 carries. I mean, like, that boy, he was balling. So when you look at it from that perspective, if Josh is able to continue this forward, do you think he could win MVP?
Yeah. It's going to be a cat and mouse game in the sense that Josh has to play like a maniac for the rest of the season, do what he did against Miami, but it's also going to be a matter of Mahomes faltering, which is more than possible. He's got 3 tough games, 2 against divisional opponents. He's going to have to play perfect to win these football games, just as he has the past few weeks. And if they come up short in 1 or maybe 2 games, and Mahomes is finally looking to kind of crumble to succumb to the pressure just a little bit, I think that opens the door for Josh. And with Jalen Hurts out of the picture, unfortunately, at least for the remainder of the regular season, I would say, then it more than opens the door back up for Josh Allen. And especially if we're able to take care of the Bengals, we take down that team that a lot of people, including myself, are kind of rallying behind at the moment. Then I think that only will speak to Josh's case even more. So I think if Mahomes has a moment or two of humanity, then Josh's ability to win it really opens up.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it. Patrick does have same amount of interceptions as Josh, so I mean, he's capable of making mistakes. And I think honestly, I don't disagree about anything you said about Mahomes. I think that he's a phenomenal player. My only thing is, they have turned him into a deity. It's like, I mean, you crazy for even insinuating Patrick Mahomes might not be the best quarterback in the league. You know what I mean? It's like the Jordan, the Jordan rule or whatever. It's like, I've heard people literally say, I would never even think about saying that somebody was better than Michael Jordan. Well, then how can you accurately determine if somebody is actually better if you're not even going to entertain the thought? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I get where you're coming from, and I mean, Patrick Mahomes is that boy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that Josh Allen is also that boy.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
you know, I think he can. He at his peaks, to me, his peaks are higher than Patrick Mahomes's.
Yeah.
As far as individual play, and his abilities are greater. Patrick Mahomes makes it look prettier sometimes, and it's an ESPN highlight reel, him tossing the ball underhand on the same way he could just throw it like that and it'd have been the same result. But whatever. And then when I say that, I sound like a hater, but it's like y'all be gassing stuff, bro. Like, bro, it looked pretty, but like, oh my God, he's a magician. It's like, bro, relax. Like,
I saw Joy Taylor, and I've been seeing this conversation more and more, say that she thinks and other people believe that Burrow, and I would not go, I think Burrow has been exceptional this year, but I would not go nearly as far as to say something like this. But she thinks Burrow is on the level of Josh and Mahomes. And I talked about this conversation on my TikTok page, and people were saying that, like you're saying, nobody's in the stratosphere of Mahomes right now. It's pretty much Burrow to Allen. That's where the closer comparison comes in. And I think that's improper for many reasons. But I guess my biggest argument was to put someone on a tier with someone else or put someone in a tier with other players. There must be some sort of argument you can make for that player to be over another player in that tier. Anybody in their right mind would take Josh Allen as their franchise quarterback over Joe Burrow. I get Joe Burrow might be slightly more accurate. I get he might be a better pocket passer at times. But the dominance level that Josh Allen can play at, like you said, could be just as good and in some cases better than Mahomes. And he can play in ways that Mahomes can't, and he can play in ways that nobody can. That's why Josh Allen is in the Patrick Mahomes stratosphere to me, is because his ceiling is so high, and we've seen him play at levels that not even Patrick Mahomes can reach just because of the physical imposing will he has. And Joe Burrow just doesn't. I mean, and people were saying, oh, we saw Brady do it and he's not physically imposing. It's like Brady's the biggest anomaly in all of sports. Sitting here and comparing prime Brady, the 7th round skinny white kid that had no ability to see the field unless an injury happened and then suddenly turned into the greatest quarterback of all time. Like, that's a little bit ridiculous to sit here and say, oh, Joe Burrow's, he could be like Brady. Like, come on. Let's not over exaggerate things here. Joe Burrow has no argument over Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. And I think that's extremely, extremely blinding to say something of the nature, even if you have Joe Burrow in your MVP conversation, even if he went on a Super Bowl run last year. The physical imposing will of Josh Allen and what we've seen from him multiple times now, it's just, you'd be crazy to take one over the other.
I love when people are trying to make a point and they end up using the one time in history their point actually happened. And it's like, oh, yeah. Like, okay, yeah, Tom Brady did it, but like, who else other than, you know what I mean? Like, you talking about, exactly like you said, the anomaly makes no sense to me. But it looks like the AFC is a 4-team race if you want to include the Baltimore Ravens, who are at 9-5. Theoretically, they could run off the last 3 and get to 12-5. And should the Bills lose every other last game, the Chiefs lose all their games, and the Bengals lose the rest of their games, or I think they actually have the tiebreaker over the Bengals, but nonetheless, they have an outside chance of being the number 1 seed as well. Outside of that, you take a look at the Titans, who are going to be your potentially 4 seed. Actually, let's get into a little bit of division talk before we head up out here. We're going to do the AFC because that's what we care about right now. I want to talk about the AFC South for a little bit. I'm going to do the playoff teams for each division because we're not talking about the freaking Houston Texans who let us down. Like, you could have just got blown out for that. Like, why would you even give it? You know what I mean? Like, you might as well just let them score 85. Like, I mean, it wasn't even – all right, anyway. AFC South, the Tennessee Titans sit 7-7. Jacksonville Jaguars sit at 6-8. And they still play each other for the rest of the week. I mean, for me personally, I kind of feel like there is a really good chance that the Jacksonville Jaguars could win this division. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, with it was announced that Ryan Tannehill is out for the year, so yeah, that's a blow. It's pretty much over for Tennessee. If we're being honest, I would be shocked if they somehow come away with it, especially with the way Jacksonville's playing right now and the way Trevor Lawrence has been playing. We saw Derrick Henry rumble for 150 and 2, I think it was, along that stat line against the Jaguars last time we played, and they lost by 20. So that formula obviously isn't working anymore. And without Tannehill, you can kiss their hopes of winning that division goodbye. I feel bad for Mike Vrabel. I mean, this roster has been hurt, not good for the most part. And, he had him at the top of their division, breaking expectations for the first 2/3 of the season. They ran out of steam toward the end here between injuries and just, not being able to play up to that expectation anymore, frankly. But, I was shocked with what the Titans did this year. I did not think they would be the team that they were for a majority of the season. But Jacksonville's turned it around, and I know you had to take prior to the year that you thought Jacksonville could win the division, which I thought was insanity. But here we are. Very, very, very likely that it does happen. Honestly, I think it's probably 75% chance that they come away with this, and 25% chance that Tennessee holds on.
I appreciate my flowers, bro, because I forgot I said that, but you're right. I did believe that.
Yeah, you did.
And I guess it was for good reason. I just didn't believe in the Titans, to be honest. The Colts scared the hell out of me, but clearly they were ant in sheep's like they were ant in wolf's clothing. I don't know, man. They just laid a complete egg this year. Next up, we have the AFC. No, actually, before we go there, let's go with the AFC East. The only team in the conference where every single team has a winning record. Or if it ended today, they would have a winning season, let's say that, because two of the teams are 500. All of them are eligible to make the playoffs, Caveman. How many of the four, the Bills have already clinched, how many of the remaining three make the playoffs?
Look, man, it might be crazy to say out loud, but there is a possibility where the Patriots miss, the Jets miss, and the Dolphins ain't out of the woods. The Dolphins are not out of the woods right now, man. I mean, they have the who do they get this week? I think they get the Packers next week, right? I think, maybe not. But either way, they get the Packers, the Jets, and the Patriots. 2 divisional games and a Packers team that's trying to, get a backdoor shot to the postseason. Hey, they've been playing not great football lately. Tua's been figured out. It doesn't seem like they have an answer. They were 2 big play. Once again, it's kind of what kept them in the game against the Chargers, that big play with Tyreek Hill. One random big play being that fumble return touchdown, and then that bomb where Drew Tranquil fell. Those were 2 big plays that kept the Dolphins in that game. And then against us, we had a blown coverage, which is rare, beyond rare for the Bills. And Jalen Waddle gets behind Jordan Poyer, and he takes it. And then Tyreek Hill beats Trey off the line once all game, and DeMar Hamlin just can't get over there in time, which was frustrating because that whole shot should not be there. You're playing safety over the top of Tyreek Hill. Where else do you think the ball is going to go? But anyway, that game probably shouldn't have been close, despite the fact that they rumbled all over us for a majority of it. This is, a stretch of games that is not going to be easy. They get a tough Jets defense. The Patriots defense at any point can play with the rest of the top units. And Green Bay going to be fighting for their lives. So I think there's a real reality where maybe all 3 miss. It would be wild. But I would say, to keep it realistic, I do think the Dolphins probably end up squeaking in, but top 2, I would say, Jets and Patriots miss.
All right, fair enough. 4 of the division winners get a spot. You got the Bengals or Ravens, whichever one of those don't win the division will get a wild card spot. That's already 5 seeds gone. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 6-8, the Chargers at 8-6, the Raiders and the Broncos. The Raiders at 6-8, definitely not the Broncos. The Steelers and the Browns at 6-8 as well. So if the Dolphins mess around and maybe only go 9-8, you know what I mean? If they lose 2 of the last 3, And you got a lot of other teams that might win those 3. And I'm no mathematician, especially not off of just looking at like the way I am right now, but I'm sure there's some scenario in which they end up, are on the outside looking in. Should they have to win all those tiebreakers, and you know what I mean? So they put themselves in a rough position. And a conversation could be had. Should they really even be there? I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. I don't want to sit here and crap on the Dolphins, okay? But they won a game in which they had to come back from like 30 down or something stupid like that, 20 down versus the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it again the next week in a game they really should have lost to us. That's 2 very fluky L's. I don't know. So theoretically, they should be 6-8 right now, just like everybody else. And you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know how good of the team they are. Although they did put on a good showing versus us, I don't know if they're 8-6. So, yeah. All right. We might as well just do the last 2. The AFC West Chargers and the Raiders both have a chance to get into the playoffs. Do either of them make it?
I think the Chargers do. I think the curse is finally broken, and I think I'm probably being slightly optimistic because I'm so sick and tired of hearing the Joe Burrow is way better than Justin Herbert because Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl and Justin Herbert doesn't have a playoff win argument. What's going to happen when Justin Herbert wins a playoff game? That's going to be the end all be all for those that use that against him and kill him. But anyway. The Raiders too. I mean, they won a game on a fluke this past week. But if they don't let the Rams drive down the field with Baker Mayfield, who just signed on their roster 2 days prior, 98 yards and win that game, they could easily be 7 what would that be? Are they 6-8 right now? 7-7. So I don't know what their hopes really look like, but there's always a whole shot with them. But I think the Chargers do make it, and the Broncos are obviously a non-factor.
All right, fair enough. Also, I want to say that the Dolphins, going back to what I said about them being 6-8, should be in 6-8. Their net points is 1 + 1.
Nice. What about the
Patriots
Vikings?
and
what
the
about
Jets?
Vikings?
Patriots and the Jets both have more than the Dolphins. The Vikings have a plus or minus.
Is it still minus? I think at one point they had a negative point differential being
it is a 2.
2
plus 2.
They're a good team, I swear. Oh, that first round exit is gonna be great.
The 11-3 NFC North, number 2 seed in the conference, Minnesota Vikings have a net points of 11-2. Then you look at a team like the San Francisco 49ers, who net points is 128. Second in the league. Third in the league behind the Bills and the Eagles. Bills used to have the best net point differential. Now it is the Eagles. The Chargers point differential, -28.
That's not shocking. That's not shocking. I honestly am surprised they're 8-6. They've gotten away with a few this year. Similar to the Dolphins, they have that. They should have lost to the Browns when Brandon Staley went for like a 4th and 2 in his own territory, and the Browns had a free shot at a field goal to win. That was stupid. I think there was another game that I just won't be able to remember off the top of my head. They probably should have lost, but they're a healthier team now. So I think their team is a little bit different than it was throughout the middle portion of the year when they were missing both Mike Williams, who I think is like modern day Megatron sometimes. Like that dude catches everything. I've never seen a guy adjust to a football midair like he does. And it's just like nobody talks about it because they don't throw him the football very often. It's rather frustrating. But anyway, that's not a surprising plus minus for a team that's struggled in every regard this year.
Yeah, Mike Williams definitely deserves a lot more credit. Instead, they talk about how great the throw was from Joe Burrow, which I mean was fair, but the catch is a lot of times even better. Las Vegas Raiders, they have a plus or minus of 1. So 6-8 team has a 29-point differential that's better than the team that they follow at 8-6. Some more notable ones. Jacksonville Jaguars have a plus or minus of 6. Tennessee Titans, -38.
Wow. Yeah, they're not making it. I don't think they find a way. They're going to have to get lucky. Although, the more the Jacksonville Jaguars win, if the Titans are able to maybe squeak out one more victory at one point, they and the Dolphins keep stuttering, it's going to get interesting. You know, I almost am rooting for the Titans to get one more win and the Jacksonville Jaguars to try and take that top spot because it can really get spicy. What's the Jags record right now?
7-6-8, 7-7.
Wait.
Yeah, my eyes pass numbers up there. 6-8. Yeah, 6-8.
6-8.
Yeah.
Hey,
all right.
It can get juicy if they're able to pull out a 9-8 or 8-9 record. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it all plays out. It's gonna be a fun 3 weeks.
Yes, just some more notable stats real quick. 49ers have the best scoring defense in the NFL. They've only allowed 210 points total. The Bills are second at 250. The Broncos are third at 253. Russell Wilson, you're awful. Or Nathaniel Hackett, really, you're awful. Like awful. And then the Cardinals have allowed the most points.
That dumpster fire.
Oof. All right. The Kansas City has allowed the most point, or have scored the most points in the NFL, followed by the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat them by 3 points. The Cowboys are fourth. The Buffalo Bills are the Cowboys are third. The Buffalo Bills are fourth, and the Detroit Lions are fifth. So let me put this in perspective, guys. The Lions are 7-7. They're 500. They have scored 369 points. They have allowed 364 points. Jared Goff, not bad. Not bad at all, man. Not bad at all. So yeah, some more interesting. The Broncos have scored the least in the league. Go figure. Followed by the Rams. Texans. Texans have scored more than the Broncos. Pathetic.
Oh my God.
Pathetic. All right, Caveman. Is there anything else that you had on your mind you wanted to touch on before we get up out of here?
No, I think we talked about a lot, and it's going to be fun to root against our division rivals these next few weeks. I'm looking forward to as much as I'm going to be a Bills fan, as always, I'm going to be a very anti Dolphins fan these next few weeks. That's my biggest rooting interest.
Why are you anti? I mean, aside from them being in our division and hating them, why are you anti-Dolphins right now?
I think that's probably just what it is. The amount of frustration that overwhelmed my body when we lost that first game was just a feeling of I wanted to punch something. I wanted to punch a hole in my wall, seeing how hard Josh fought just to hear all the freaking garbage from that fan base all year since, and to beat them, it felt good, but it would just be that extra just dagger in their back to see them miss because they thought they were the big bad team in the AFC, and now Tua can't throw outside the numbers, and they've lost the last 3 games. So I just want to see it stuck to them because they run their mouth way too much.
So if they lose their last 3 games, they will have went 0-6 the last 6 of the season. Mike McDaniels will have gone from being this coach of the year phenom, this guy's amazing, to Tua will have gone from he's a franchise quarterback, he's amazing, to it'll be real interesting to see, and it will be quite hilarious from my point of view. So, yeah. All right, guys. And it'll have a losing season, so that'd be cool. All right, guys. Yeah, that'll do it for us here Sunday of February. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. I still have to do a promo, but me and Jake are going to be bringing back the Madden cast. Bills versus Bears is tomorrow because we didn't finish the season, so we thought we'd finish it, during the weeks that we're, going to be playing said team. So yes, maybe we might have a special guest for you guys. Maybe Ruben might stop through. We'll see what happens. And then Build Different Friday. Oh, catch me on the radio tonight. Power 96.5 WUFO. Figure out how to listen to it. I'll shoot the number in a Twitter link later or something like that. So make sure you guys support Caveman. Want to let them know. Oh, also, I told you this off camera, but I'm gonna say it again. F it, bro. Those videos, clips you make are phenomenal, dog. They are the most entertaining little clips I've ever seen. Like it, maybe I might be snitching on myself a little bit, but F it. But man, some Bills creators I don't be watching, bro. I don't be watching them. Some of them, you know what I mean? I don't really be watching them because, I'm cool with the person, and I'll say hey on the TL sometimes, but product really ain't that good. I'm just saying. But those clips are phenomenal, bro. Phenomenal. So let everybody know where they can watch those and other material you put out.
Yeah, sure. So I'm the Caveman on every platform. I've been big into short form content lately, as Justice was alluding to. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and here on YouTube, I've been doing a lot of short form type of things. If you're into 60-second content and your attention span isn't very long, that's what I've been doing lately. So you want to check that out. Live streaming after every Bills game. And as well as sometimes I go live after a primetime game if it was a good one. But yeah, the Caveman across all platforms. And also, enough giving me credit, this guy gave a very, very, very special tribute to Jordan Poyer over the last, what was it, yesterday? That you released 2 days ago, yesterday?
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, that video was fire. He made an awesome edit. The dude is the best in the game at it. By far the best in the community and one of the best in the NFL community, period. And the song he used, one of my favorites right now, and it fits so perfect. So that was a beautiful work of art, dude, truthfully.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. So make sure you guys go check us out. Check out our other content that we do, and we will see you guys next Wednesday, as always, right here on the Buffalo Fan Base page. You guys know we appreciate every single like, comment, subscription, retweet, repost, share you guys give us, and we love you, so we do it for you guys. Thank you. This is the official network of the original Bills Mafia. Out.